Hello, people of the internet. This is M&K Xbox. Today we're on the test server again. Well, actually no, this is the 8.6 test server. I was going to put up a video about this when it first came out, the test server. Then I got kind of caught up in different things with some revision and this, that, and the other. But yeah, so today's going to be a review on the Object 263, the Tier 10, the second Tier 10 tank destroyer. Now, I can't remember exactly when this was added, but I know that this tech tree line was added first, and then they decided to add this tech tree line afterwards, this one here, with the Object 263. Now, initially, when I first saw this in the game, I saw this on the test server, and I thought, nah, I don't really like this. You know, at the past, 2 or 3 test servers that I played on, I haven't used this tank, and I haven't decided that I wanted to go for this one. I don't know, I just didn't really like the look of it. I didn't like the gun. I didn't like this, that, and the other about it. I've been starting to have some serious doubts and changing decision about that, because I'm really, really, really liking this thing a lot. I mean, okay, it doesn't have the same alpha damage as the Object 268, the other Tier 10 tank destroyer. If you take a look at the 152mm on this thing, it doesn't have the same alpha damage. But if I'm honest, it doesn't need it. I mean, it really just doesn't need the alpha damage. It's just one of those tanks that... Right, let's put this into perspective. So the past few updates I've been, past few test servers, I've been playing, all the common tanks that I like to play, like the Jagdpanzer A100, the E100, IS-7, some of the, big tanks that do a lot of punchy damage, but they have a monstrous reload time. But this update I've been trying to do something different. I've been going for, this is my other account, I generally tend to use this for the test server. I play like a few games on my other one, and then I use this for the test server, mostly. I don't know why, I just do. But so what I tend to do is I tend to get the big guns to do a lot of damage. But this time round, I've been prone to get the ones that do a lot. They have a lot less alpha damage. Let's put it like that. They have a lot less alpha damage, and they have a much higher rate of fire. Like, I still have the ISU-152, but I just love this thing. It's so troll, honestly. It's just... You'll laugh. When you play this, you will laugh. Anyway, so I've been much more prone to get the ones that do fast, punchy damage over the course of a long time, and I'm really starting to like the tanks that do that. Like, this is the second version of the test server. I mean, but on the first one I had, where is it? The WZ-132, the Tier 8 light tank. I was taking out Tier 10 tanks like a boss with this thing. I wasn't using the 100mm, wasn't using this 100mm, I was using this 85mm. And the reason for that is, take a look, 260 penetration with premium ammo, because everyone uses premium ammo, 200 average damage, with a rate of fire of 10.53 a minute. You're going to be doing an average of about 2,000 damage a minute with this thing if you penetrate. And it's so much fun. So I've been playing a lot of medium tanks, and like the Panther, the Panzer V Panther. Again, I'm not using the 88mm. I'm using the 7.5mm. 75mm. This is the 88mm, the one that does 171 penetration with premium ammo, 220 average damage, rate of fire 8.96. This, on the other hand, 244 average penetration, 135 average damage, 12 rounds a minute. Again, you're going to be doing about just over 1,500 damage a minute with this thing, and you will be doing it. Trust me, you will be doing it. So it's just I've been prone to go for more of those tanks. Anyway, into the review with the Object 263. Like I said, I've started to really like this tank destroyer. At first, when I looked at it, I didn't really consider the speed limit, the 55 km/h speed limit, the 32 degree a second traverse speed. So I ended up putting binoculars and a camouflage net. I still have the camo net on, just because why not? And I kitted this out for a long-range static tank destroyer that is going to sit still and hide and wait and shoot its enemies from a distance. Well, to be honest, in all fairness, the game I'm going to show you after this, I do that. But in my other games, I've been going like, full assault mode, and you can do that. So anyway, it has 1,900 hit points. It's not necessarily on the upper end, I think. I mean, this is 1,950, Jagdpanzer E100 monstrous amount, so that's like 2,200, I want to say, maybe less. Yeah, 2,200, and the Foch 155, where's that? 1,850, but that's the French thing for auto-loaders and low health. And then the Tier 10 tank destroyer, I think this is also 2,200, or is it just 2,000? Yeah, just 2,000. And then the Americans, of course, they have, I think, a decent amount of health. 2,000, and this one has just a bit more, 2,050. So it's kind of average. It's on the lower end, but it's better than some tanks. So it doesn't have that much hit points, but it doesn't really need it, and I'll explain why in a sec. So it has a weight load limit of 60.51. Actually, no, a load limit of 62.5. Hang on. Got my pint of water there. Anyway, so it has a load limit of 62.5 kilograms, or tons even. Kilograms, that'd be one light-ass tank, wouldn't it? Anyway, so it has 62.5 ton load limit, and that's, you know, it's alright. It's heavy-ish tank, but not very heavy. It's not, you know, some of the heavier tanks like the Maus or whatever, but that thing's monstrously heavy. 1,050 horsepower engine. You have an excellent power to weight ratio. You will see this 55 km/h speed limit. You might even hit 60 doing this thing. That's right, you will do 60. That's the same as... Actually, no, that's 55. Never mind. That's 48. I don't have a very good... Oh, here we are. This thing's 65. It's nearly as fast as a Tier 10 German medium. 65. You know, you will see... You will see... Oh, wait, that's the Object 261. They do look very similar, I have to admit. So... I might make that mistake a few times. You will see that 55 km/h speed limit. You might even see 60 if you're going down a hill. 32 degrees traverse speed. That is an amazing traverse speed. Absolutely amazing traverse speed for a tank destroyer. I mean, some tank destroyers would wish they had 32 degrees per second traverse speed, and in all fairness, I didn't realise that when I was putting the crew skills on, and I accidentally put clutch braking on, but hey, what the hell, why not? So I've just made that even better now. Hull armor, this is the really troll part, and that's why it doesn't really need that much health. 250mm of frontal armor. Now, in some tanks, it's just this slab here, and it doesn't count for tanks with rear-mounted guns, for instance, like this one. It would just be this front slab of armor here. I thought that was the case to begin with this tank, until I played the game I'm about to show you, and I was bouncing shells at the front of this thing from Foch 155s, you know. I think I bounced about 6 shots from 2 Foch 155s total. I was barely angling it, to be honest, but that's the real troll factor of this thing. So you can just see the thickness of the armor just there. By the way, I upgraded my graphics card, so or I'm not upgrading my graphics card. I upgraded the drivers on my graphics card, and it redid a load of stuff with World of Tanks. So the resolution's a bit different, and yeah, that's that. So it's got this massive chunk of armor there. Plus, I think a little bit of spaced armor behind. But then on top of that, you might just be able to see it here. It's got this huge slab of armor there. You can just about see the line there. That's still the 250mm of armor at a fairly respectable angle. I'm going to guess that's maybe 45, 50 degrees. I don't know. And even that's angled as well. So you're really looking at maybe 300mm of armor here, and maybe 290mm here. Or 300mm here, 350 here. You know, it's very troll, and people shooting at you, Jagdpanzer E100s, 400mm of penetration. I've bounced shots off Jagdpanzer E100s, and in a Jagdpanzer E100 as well, I've fired shots at this and being pissed off when I fire my, you know, heat shells that do 400-odd mm of penetration and just go dink and bounce straight off. So you can use the armor on this. I think the only major weak point on this could be this gun mantlet here, because it doesn't have anything behind it apart from the gun. So people shooting here will damage the gun and might penetrate more often, because at least here you've got the 250mm of armor, plus it's angled, plus a little bit of whatever behind. This is just flat. This angle here is flat, or near enough flat. I think it's got a very slight angle, but not that much. So it's effectively flat, and things will go straight through and damage the gun, because if you can look, you can just see here, that's the plate. That little bit there's the plate on here. So if you're going to shoot an Object 263, I recommend shooting it here. Or, I haven't tried it, but here. The Lower Glacius is a very flat, big target. People will shoot you here. People will probably shoot you here. And then it's a tank destroyer. It's 80-50. It's garbage. The side rear armor, garbage. I mean, just look, it's thin. People shoot you here will probably damage your ammo rack, and here will probably blow your ammo rack, and this, that, and the other. I have been set on fire quite a few times by getting shot down here and just in the back, so I'm not too sure where the transmission is. But yeah, it's just got garbage armor, sides and rear. It's a tank destroyer, is what we expect. Right, anyway, standard shell damage. I'll cover that with the gun, and penetration, this, that, and the other, and the rate of fire, again, I'll cover that. Gun traverse, 26 degrees per second. It's a tank destroyer, doesn't really matter. It's got about a gun arc. It's quite good. I mean, if you take a look at the aiming time, 2.5 seconds, it's very good for a tank destroyer. Like I said, again, you have a gun arc of about that. It's not a relatively small gun arc, but it's not necessarily a big gun arc, so it's about a gun arc of about this. And if you intend to play this up close and personal, it won't really matter. If you tend to play this at long distances, it won't really matter either. You can play this like a camping tank destroyer, but just remember, you do have that speed, and you do have that 32 degrees second traverse speed, so you can relocate quite quickly, which is quite a good feature of this tank. It's one of the main features of this tank, that you can relocate quite quickly. And it has a view range of 410 meters. That's mostly just because I stuck this on, and that guy, the commander, has recon on. I was going to put vents on, but it doesn't have vents, and I didn't really need it considering this whole fucking bit is open, so I can understand why you couldn't really put vents on it. Anyway, and it has a 720 meter signal range. It doesn't really matter, to be perfectly honest. Signal range, nah. I'm not really bothered with signal range. The only thing you need to be bothered with signal range about is the light tanks and artillery, and they tend to have very good signal range regardless. But the signal range, I suppose, is important, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that covers the sort of general stats, but that's just raw stats. This gun, when you put all this shit on it, it does, oh, it just performs so well. You can just pop out, I mean, the gun depression you'll see is shit, it's terrible. The gun's mounted in the rear, it can't go really past this bit here, so you've got terrible gun depression. But you don't really need it, because you can pop over a hill, take a shot, and get back before they can aim and shoot at any weak spots. And if they do just quickly snapshot aim at you, they'll probably get hit this bit here, or this bit here, and it's just not going to do any damage, because it's just going to ricochet straight off. So you can play this quite well, quite quickly, quite fast. It's a fast assault tank, is how I view this. Or you can play it as a camping tank, if you particularly want to. Anyway, the gun. Now, this is the thing that turned me off about this tank when I first saw it. Oh, hang on. Yeah, this is the thing that turned me off about the gun when I first saw it. It's, you know, when I first got World of Tanks, I looked at raw damage, average damage. That's what I looked at when I first got World of Tanks. I didn't take into consideration penetration, rate of fire, caliber. Well, that doesn't really matter. Accuracy, aiming time, weight, etc., etc. I didn't take into account any of that. And I saw this and I thought, that's shit. Got myself the Object 268. But I decided I wanted to try something different, so I got myself the Object 263. And I looked at the gun again and I thought, well, if I'm firing premium ammo, APCR, that's not new. That's not too bad. 330mm of penetration. If I'm firing standard ammo, still not too bad. 290mm of penetration. And it'll do 500 average damage at a rate of fire at 5.45. That's good. That's very good. You might see that you're going to do about 2,500 average damage a minute. That's good. Doing 2,500 damage a minute, that's incredibly good for a tank destroyer. I mean, the Jagdpanzer E100 can get about 2 shots off a minute, and well, it's the Jagdpanzer E100, but even then it fluctuates and might do only 900 damage or 700 damage. You will regularly see this thing do 500 damage consistently. It will consistently do 500 damage. It's not a tank that, okay, it says it does 1,000 damage, but then you shoot something with it and does 400. Mainly artillery that does that, but it's not a tank that's going to drop very far below. You might see 530 or 520, but you're still doing 500 damage to things. And you will even see this thing do 600 damage. I'm not sure, but I might have shot something for 900 damage before, which was a ridiculous roll. I have no idea how I got that, but it could have just been cumulative damage from me and someone else. But even then, it would have been me doing 500 and them doing 400, so it's got the rate of fire, along with the alpha damage and penetration, is brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. I honestly love it. And it's sticking with the theme, fast punchy rate of fire guns that, you know, they might not have amazing alpha damage, but it doesn't really matter because if you can keep putting the shots out, you're going to keep the hurt on, and they're going to really feel that. And an accuracy of 0.32, that's very good. I believe it's on the upper end of the tank destroyer in terms of gun accuracy. I mean, T110E4, 0.37. I think it even beats the Jagdpanzer E100. I can't remember, which is kind of embarrassing considering I did a review on it just a few updates ago. Yeah, it beats the German guns, and it might even beat its big brother or little brother or whatever you want to call it in terms of accuracy. Yep, it just about beats it. It's got 0.32 accuracy, so like you will regularly hit the target. And of course, with the new update, you get this new thing where shells will be drawn towards the middle of the aiming circle instead of getting a really bad RNG and it just flying off to fuck knows where. So you will regularly hit targets and do full damage with this thing. And the aiming time, like I said, 0.25, 2.5 even. 0.5, I wish. 0.25 or 2.5. I keep saying 0.5. Anyway, 2.5 aiming time. That's very, very good for a tank destroyer. Again, you can just pop out over hill, look at someone, and just fire effectively. You will hit them and you will do damage, and it will just go straight through, and it just kicks ass. This gun kicks ass. Serious ass. Anyway, on to crew skills. Now, with the crew skills, for my commander I have recon, just because this is something I seem to have done recently with all my tanks, is I want to go for view range. It's a case of if you can see them first, then you can shoot them first. Get the first shot in, get the first kill in, effectively. It's always better to have it like that. So I've gone with recon, but unfortunately I like to have recon for my commander and situational awareness for my radio operator to increase it, but unfortunately he's both, so I can only put recon on. Then I have brothers-in-arms, traverse speed, clutch braking, brothers-in-arms. So basically, these guys will improve this and this tenfold, so you really do feel the benefits of it. Again, I didn't realise the traverse speed, but hey, you know, why not? In for a penny, in for a pound, eh? Just making it just that much better, which also makes it a very hard tank destroyer to flank and encircle. So, you know, you get T-50-2s who might be able to encircle you, but you have the traverse speed and you have the speed to maybe try and get away, or at least turn around and shoot them before they can do anything to you. So you do have that option. Now, this is of course preference for me. You can of course fit repairs to this. It is a tank destroyer. You don't want to get your tracks blown off because that's a bad thing. So repairs is always a good thing to have. So, you know, I'd probably suggest recon, repairs, brothers-in-arms, standardly. But this is, you know, my mouths are getting really dry. This is of course the test account test server. So, yeah, hang on. Anyway, this is something new I've tried with the consumables. Usually I like to have small first aid kit, repair kit, and fire extinguishers because of the same reasons that I've talked about in every other fucking video that I do with a review. So this is something new I've tried because I don't seem to get set on fire as much. Definitely not in this thing anyway. And you do have, you know, 1,900 hit points, and you can take fire damage. It might leave you on fairly low health, but you know, hey. So the extra combat rations literally just improves all of these. It'll basically make their main skill, like their, you know, major qualifications better, and it'll make their skills better. So basically, you've got, what you effectively have is you have the gunner who's going to hit things more often, the loader who's going to load, these two loaders that are going to load much more quickly. Then you've got, basically, this, improving this guy's brothers-in-arms, which is going to improve this guy's brothers-in-arms, who's also going to improve this guy's brothers-in-arms, who's going to improve this guy's brothers-in-arms. And it's a sort of recurring threat. So these brothers-in-arms are all going to be affected by this, and it's going to improve them by 10% and make them that much better. So these guys are going to have, on top of the, you know, whatever bonus they have, so like, you know, 20 plus 29% for, oh wait, hang on, what am I looking at? I have no idea what I'm looking at. Whatever it is, it gets improved by 10% plus brothers-in-arms that are cumulative, so these two are going to be improving this guy, these two are going to be improving this guy, and these two are going to be improving this guy. And then the same, and these three are going to be improving this guy, and these three are going to be improving this guy. with extra combat rations improving it for all of them, effectively. So you do feel the benefit of that a lot. And then of course small repair kit and first aid kit, because you don't get set on fire as often in this thing, especially if you like to play it fairly aggressively or play it at long distances. Because just bear in mind again that if you're playing this at long distances and get spotted, if they fire, you know, APCR or AP, it loses its penetration. So if it does 300 millimeters of penetration, by the time it gets to you, if they're firing from about 500 meters away, it might only be doing 280 millimeters of penetration, and 250 plus the angle, it's just going to go straight off. It's just not going to penetrate, or it's just going to bounce off. So yeah, that's generally how I like to do this. Anyway, so modules or equipment even. Large caliber tank gun rammer. I always fit one of these to anything I play. If you look at here, tank gun rammer, gun rammer, gun rammer. Even on the ones that fire really quickly, I just love putting a gun rammer on, because it just increases the amount of hurt that you can put down onto people. You're increasing that 5.45 by a lot. Again, plus the Brothers in Arms, plus that, you increase it by quite a substantial amount. Coated optics, I put this on instead of binoculars, is because binoculars, you have to stay still for about 3 seconds before they activate. And like I said, this thing is fast enough and moves quick enough, and can turn fast enough to relocate quickly, to play fast-paced, punchy games, so you don't need to be standing still. Therefore, it's a useless asset to have on your tank. So this thing is better because it's always on, and it kind of, you know, helps on the fly. Again, I just couldn't be bothered to remove this. I don't really think there's anything else that I can improve on. The aiming time is good. You don't get set on fire that much. Don't really need to worry about this. Don't really need to worry about this. Maybe this. You do get shot. This is a big artillery target. And if they miss you, it'll still do a lot of splash damage, because remember, it's an open top. Open top tanks are more susceptible to artillery fire than non-open top. So I suppose I recommend you could go for either camouflage net if you want to play it stealthily, heavy spall liner, whatever, a toolbox because you don't want to keep yourself trapped for too long, or if you really want to, go for a wet ammo rack, because bear in mind your ammo rack, well, you can pretty much see it's there and there, and yeah, so you don't want to get shot. And if artillery lands on you, you will probably get ammo racked most times, so you might want to get a wet ammo rack, I don't know, preference. But it's pretty much useless getting this, or this, or this, or this, because it doesn't really need it. The tank doesn't need it. It's a great tank on its own. Anyway, so that covers pretty much the practical side of this tank. I'm now going to load up a replay from a tank from a game I literally just played. In fact, to be honest, I can probably show you I took screenshots of it, but I didn't realise I was going to do one just now. This is basically the after battle results that I have. As you can see, I didn't come top, but 4,981 damage, approaching 5k damage. That's good. And as you can see here, I took 11. Well, how many shots did I take? Well, I took 7,470 potential damage. I received 13 hits, and 11 of them didn't penetrate. Only 2 penetrated. So yeah. So I'm going to end this part of the video here, and it'll be on with the review from this point onwards. So, this is the Object 261 game, 263 game. We're on steps, whatever. To be honest, that Jagdpanda just said to follow me, but I didn't even follow him. I didn't even realise that at the time. Like I said, I literally just played this game. This is the last game I played, then I did the review, then I'm watching this back. So, you're going to see where I head off for this one, and I stayed there for pretty much the entire game. And as you can see, the traverse speed is quite good. Most tank destroyers wish they had the traverse speed of that. It seems slow, but it's really not. Now, you're going to see me accelerating, you know, getting quite quickly, going quite fast on this. As you can see, the gun depression is terrible, absolutely god-awful, but the gun elevation isn't too bad. I'm assuming this is based off the chassis of the Object 261, or vice versa. In which case you would expect it to have quite good gun depression. Now, I'm only going 30 kph up a hill, but for a tank destroyer, that's quite good. It doesn't have quite French speed. It doesn't have the speed of the French, if I'm honest. Okay, so I head up onto this hill, just over here, And like I said, I stay here for the majority of the game because I think to myself, well, I'm not going to try and get myself killed straight away. So I stand up here and I start, you know, looking for decent, half-decent vantage points that I can cover. And as you can see, we'll be moving quite a lot with this. So I spot the first guy over there. It's a tank destroyer, the Foch 155. Just aim where I think his side is. 543 damage. Now he's going to point his gun towards me. Now I'm not even angled at this point. I think I took a hit from that one there, and there's someone else over there, and everyone's just shooting at me. And there, right there, I think it hit my gun mantlet. If I pause, I think it hit my gun mantlet. I'm not too sure. I think it hit my gun mantlet and it just bounced off. So you'll see, this is basically what you're going to see for the majority of the time. Just shells bouncing off left, right, and centre because I'm at range. And first real damage I take, I suppose, to my track, and I'm just getting shelled here. And as you can see, you can just pop in and out of cover. There. Now I think that's the only damage I take. The only substantial damage I take. Everyone else just bounces off me left, right, and centre. And as you can see, even though I'm at range, I'm still moving. So the camouflage net doesn't really take its effect much, because you need to keep moving, really, with this tank. And I'm trying to get a shot off at this 50B. And I keep moving forwards, backwards, left, right, and centre, and I bounced this shot off the 113. It's kind of stupid. I think it's a 113. I bounced off the 113, which is kind of stupid. I was aiming at his turret. His turret is very well rounded, and as you can see, just laying waste to everything here. And I've barely taken any damage. I've taken one shot from something. And that did about, I don't know, I'm looking at it now, and about 800 damage. I don't know. Or was it 733 damage, I think? That's what it looks like. 733 damage is all I've taken. And I'm not too sure what that was from. And I finished off this Foch 155 after killing the 50B. And then I go back, and I don't kill anyone else for quite a while here, but then I didn't realise this, but we lose the right flank, or the east flank, and I head back over there and kill an IS-7 who's in the cap circle. And you can do that because you have the speed and mobility to relocate. So I just plant a shell, or I thought that, it's not that time, I do plant a shell into that guy, and I'm trying to get a shot off at this Foch, I think. FV215B. And I plant one just nicely into his side, 942 damage, and he gets finished off by someone else. But as you can see, the rate of fire on this gun is just, it's stupidly good. And you can just keep laying the hurt down. You don't need to stop and pause and think about what you're doing. You can just, you know, keep aiming. And at ranges like this, people are just going to bounce left, right, and centre off the front of you. 650 damage. You see, I've rarely dropped below 550 damage, as you can see, even at, you know, fairly large ranges. You know, 424 meters I'm shooting these guys at, and they're shooting me at 425 meters or whatever. And they're just bouncing left, right, and centre, but I'm not. It could be because I'm using APCR. I really don't know, and I'm not too bothered. But yeah, now at this point I decided to start moving down to try and move up, and then I realised, oh shit, hang on, we've lost the east flank. So I start heading back, and I'm tempted to think, well, should I push up with the rest of the team, or should I head back and defend the cap? And I think I made the right decision, because had I not done, we could have lost the cap. And that's what is it? Batshot 25T he does a great job of stopping the cap. So I look for a shot on the T57 Heavy over there. Can't make it, but he gets nailed anyway. So here's the point where I'm considering. Well, should I move up, or should I go back? You know, I'm thinking, should I? I don't know. And then I realise we're getting capped. So at that point I decide, no, right. So I start pushing up, and the Batshot takes some damage, and I'm thinking, oh shit, he's gonna die. We're gonna lose him. And I'm looking for shots on this guy. Take a shot wildly, wasn't aimed, and it bounces off the whatever it was, T62A, probably hit his turret. Batshot puts a nice solid shot into the IS-7. I finish off the IS-7. Then I start to move up, and the IS-4 gets nailed any second now. There he is. So that was the game. That's how the Object 263 plays. It plays very fast paced, keep yourself moving, and you can keep yourself moving quite well, and you don't really need to angle too much, but it's advised to do it in close range combat. There aren't too many weak spots on this tank, as you might have, if you might think, it's a very well armored tank from the front. Of course, it's very susceptible to artillery fire because it's got a big open gap here and it's got that massive, top part there. That doesn't count as the front. That's not armored at all. That's counted as the top part of the tank. So it doesn't take artillery fire too well. Very fast paced, keep it moving. The aim time is great. The rate of fire is great, so you can really lay the hurt down and you can really put pressure on the enemy if you wish. And like you saw before, I was just planting shot after shot after shot into those guys, and I took one hit. That entire game I took one hit that penetrated, and one other one that damaged my tracks. I think, as you saw, it was 13 hits that I took, 11 penetrated, 11 bounced, 2 penetrated, and I took a 7,900 and whatever potential damage, or I don't know, 7,000 potential damage. And that's the selling point of this tank, I think, that it's so well armored and it plays so quickly and so well that it's just really nice. It's a really good fast-paced tank. It doesn't have the alpha damage, but the rate of fire more than compensates for it. So anyway, that was the review of the Object 263. I'm not too sure how long this has dragged on for, but I hope you enjoyed this tank review. Tell me more if you leave me comments and feedback in the comments section if you want to see more tank reviews, or if you want to see more replays, or if you just want to see me and Ben playing live there and then well, recording it. Or if this is a new idea I'm proposing, a tech tree review where I review a certain tech tree. Because I'm furthest in the Russian heavy tech tree line, I think I'm going to review that one first if I do it. But that's what I'm planned for the future for World of Tanks. Just different things. I want to give a variety of different things. I might do some more War Thunder videos. I was told that the volume of the game was overpowering my voice and you could barely hear me, so I'll fix that. Don't worry. But yeah, so just leave some feedback in the comment section. We are getting more subscribers, more views. It's nice to see. In the near future, maybe when we hit like 100, 200 subscribers, we might hold a competition or something. A small competition. It'll just be something for like, I don't know. So it could be like 5 quid's worth of gold or 10 quid's worth of gold or whatever. And a day of premium. I don't know. It'll be some sort of competition, and then the more subscribers we get, the more, I don't know, revenue, if we pull any revenue in at all from YouTube. We can use that money to feed back into the community. So it wouldn't be just for us, and we're not doing this for the money. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that we're doing this because we like playing World of Tanks, we like putting videos up, and we like entertaining people. We like informing people as well. This is what the World of Tanks reviews are for. It's for informing people, helping them make a good decision. So like, if you've just started off with World of Tanks and you think, I wonder which tank I should aim for, and you see this review, you might think to yourself, oh, I could go for the Object 263. Oh, but there's some tanks in between, and what would be the tech tree review would be. They could last up to an hour, to be perfectly honest. I'm not too sure. They could last quite a long time. Anyway, so this is me, Alex, from MK Xbox, signing off on this Object 263 World of Tanks review. Hope you enjoyed. Like, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.